and welcome to our IndianaMat Guerrilla Radio episode 59, coming at you, talking wrestling with Mike Reiser and myself. And I know someone's texting me, probably asking where the link is. So
That's
yes,
a joke right now.
Yes, I am the OG Gorilla. Welcome to our pre-Christmas episode. Mike is still in the hole, hasn't moved yet.
Yep. Not yet. Still going through the process here.
Yes, the fun stuff. We were a little bit delayed. We had a guest call-in pre-show for Jimmy the Arm Tante. He was asking how to post stuff on the internet. I mean, it's 2018. He's trying to figure out the internet. So hopefully we are not echoing. I'm trying to get my comments up and get that going so that we can see.
Anytime you get a call from Jim Tante, it's always a good day.
Yes. So we have some people on there already. Yes. Okay.
Cincy, Ohio.
Yes, we do. It came up and then now it's gone. Ay. Still not pro at this yet.
Definitely starting to get exciting. Starting part of the season.
Yes.
Some good meets.
Yeah, we had some big ones this weekend. Our first topic would be, there it is. I keep forgetting to touch that. There we go. We should have comments now. Our first topic is there is a PSA from Caleb Spires that I got this weekend, and that is ranked guys. You aren't supposed to beat guys ranked higher than that yourself. That was an exact quote. He's getting tired of having to adjust rankings, and you're supposed to just fall in line. So, as a ranker and past ranker, I understand that completely, and there's a lot of ranked matchups going on this weekend. A lot of upsets, minor upsets, big upsets. Team wise, I know Dane is pulling his hair out with a certain Penn team that you could not figure out. It depends on how the wind's blowing, how well they do. So very interesting week in rankings. So, Mike, what's your take on this past week?
Definitely going over the results at the Marion County tournament. That's always a good one. So there's a ton of good matches there. We get to see how some of the guys fared out of state. Some of the team programs went out of state. Some tougher than others. Obviously Brownsburg and Mater Dei. I think that was a great tournament. Those guys went up there and you've seen a lot of good results. I mean, not a ton of heads up Brownsburg and Mater Dei matchups, but Mater Dei really did a nice job up there, and so did Brownsburg. Those guys went up there and.
Go ahead.
So you see a lot of that, and then there wasn't too much in the region going on. I know Hobart Super Duel and the Carnahan. I was going to try to make it out to the Carnahan, but so I looked at the brackets, and there was a lot of forfeits in there. It didn't look as tough as that. And then I was going to try to make it out to the Super Duel in Illinois with Mount Carmel and Detroit Central Catholic, Montini, but I ended up not going out there either. We ran out of time, but we have some friends that wrestle for Mount Carmel, so it would have been good to go check out. I know some guys are talking about Ohio wrestling, which 2 top 5 programs going at it. That would be great. We got Mater Dei and Perry Meridian coming up Friday. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make the drive to Evansville. I really did think about it because I think that's like one of those things that, I talked to Coach Pendosky, and he was like, if you go, you got to go there. You have to find your way down there. And I want to, but I'm going to do the broadcast for Crown Point Portage Friday night on tape delay. So not to go with the ratings and split the region and the rest of the state. You can watch Mater Dei and Perry Meridian. Then we can watch Portage Crown Point.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. The Perry and Mater Dei duel. We got some stuff going on. We're gonna, get some lineups hopefully soon. Just kind of be able to analyze it a little bit more and do it on the board and on the live stream. It's a new guy doing it, so I'm excited to see what they have. Randy Helfrich and Coach Mike Gable. Both guys are pretty well versed in the sport of wrestling. They're going to be broadcasting, so it'll be pretty good. They'll probably have a little bit of homerism towards modern day, but usually I know Coach Gable does the state finals, and he's not very much of a homer. He knows what he's talking about and has a smooth voice on the microphone, so I'm excited to sit back. I'm going to put down my big screen and just hopefully watch some wrestling on Friday night and relax. And, not much going on this week. Really, Perry, Modern Day, Portage, Crown Point, the East Central Indiana Classic, which is usually it's a pretty decent little tournament. I know there's always some good kids from, they got 16, 17 schools, and get good kids from a lot of those schools go battle head to head. So it should be a fun week of a little bit lax week, and then we get ramp up for the holiday time. So I know the Modern Day in Brownsburg up in Michigan, that was really good for that. It's good for those guys to see different competition. Everyone knows how we're going to do in Indiana, and that it's good to see that they're seeking out different competition, and looked like they did really well and against a lot of top ranked teams in Michigan, and I think there are a couple of Ohio teams there too.
Yeah. And Modern Day was able to bring a couple extra guys, and I think Brownsburg was down a couple guys, but Brody Bowerman, I think we had him in the rankings for a little bit at 113 when I thought the lineups were going to be a little different, and then someone sent me Modern Day's lineup and he was out. That's could be possibly, and we talked about top freshmen last week. He knocked off a guy on our top freshman list, and on top of that, he might be the top backup in the state right now.
Yeah. We might have to adjust our list. I don't know how often we're going to adjust our class rankings. Probably every month-ish. Just depends on, freshmen are going to be a little bit more. There's going to be a little bit higher turnover. Juniors, seniors, they're a little bit more well established, and they're not going to bust out of nowhere and end up in the rankings as much. So it'll be a little more fluid in the lower classes. So yeah, we'll be updating them, discussing them more. We do have juniors and seniors tonight after some more fun other discussion. We'll probably hit into that a little bit quicker since there's not a lot going on. Yeah, and after this week, it's holiday tournament time. Everyone's going to have, Christmas and the Al Smith, Connorsville, Mooresville, North Montgomery. Lots of good tournaments. Everyone's wrestling, it seems, over the holiday break, and I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Al Smith, too.
Yeah, I heard. Are you going to be the new voice of the?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Sandifer. I'm going to get to be in the main gym on the microphone, which is going to be pretty fun.
Jeez, you're. I mean, not only are you the face of Indiana wrestling, but now you're becoming the voice, man.
Yeah, I declined. I think they wanted to try to do a live broadcast, but they were going to do it on a tape delay, and I was like, can't do it, guys. I'm actually going to be on the mic. So I think KV Superdolls this weekend too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
No, I did know that. I was talking to Diaz.
Yeah, we definitely need to go. We definitely need a. I'm working on a scheduling system so that we can have everyone's schedule in there. Hopefully, maybe next year. That's a new feature. That's kind of been. Nick and I have been trying to put our heads together. My head is a lot better than his, but see if he. But yes, we will do an Al Smith breakdown. Hopefully, we're going to try to work on some pre-rankings, pre-seeds, and then if Coach Sandifer doesn't like them, we're gonna tangle. So
then I'm gonna butcher every name we can get. No, I mean I'm gonna butcher names regardless. That's gonna happen. I say it with confidence though. People are like, man, those are tough names. I was like, yeah, that's not even close to what they are. So
yeah,
but definitely that's exciting. I'm excited for that. That's always. I mean, that's one of the biggest tournaments in the state. It's probably the regular season best individual tournament. I mean, give or take some weight classes here or there where you get heavyweight at Marion County was ridiculous. But every year you're going to see guys. I always look back to 2002. Hector Mendez didn't even place there. He won the state title.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's and this year is one of those where you're looking at weight classes like 152 where there's 7 or 8 guys that are ranked. They all gotta make sure they separate. Come that blood round, 2 or 3 could be dropping out. If there's a couple upsets or they don't get seeded, depends on how. I'll tell you the seeding goes. The seeding meeting is fun. You should just come over for that. We could do a live broadcast from there. Like, ooh, no. That would be
I think
ugly.
and that's like one of those things where that's like the first real major milestone of the year. I mean, obviously now you're seeing a lot of like close matches, and you see guys. Caleb was talking about the rankings thing. For the most part, like you're not getting blown away by anybody. Like you're like, oh man, like pretty good, or you get messages like, hey, this kid's pretty good. Like the Al Smith, Connorsville, Mooresville. What are some of the other? North Montgomery, I think, kind of tailed off a little bit. So now that they kind of split a little bit, but Mater Day, those tournaments, like you're gonna find some guys that were not ranked or right on the cusp of being ranked that are gonna jump high in the rankings.
Yeah, you also have what was going to add to the fun is Brecksville. Let's see, Brownsburg, Avon. They must be just rooming together or something there. And
Yeah.
Portage, I believe, will be there this year.
Yep.
So that's a real good tournament. Of course, that's always it's one of those things that when you wrestle out of state, everyone's like, oh, these guys beat a ranked guy out of Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, whatever, Kentucky. They put them on those put them on our weekly topics, but so don't think that we aren't looking at them if they're not on their profiles. We've done that in the past, but kind of with as many people as we have in the database, I don't want to put any more Kentucky kids in there than I need to.
Yeah.
So those wins and or losses or close, whatever, are duly noted, but they don't affect our
Right.
rankings as much unless something crazy happens.
Like who was it? Like Vince Sparrow had a really good win this weekend over like Ryan Franco, right? Is
Yeah,
that his name, Ryan Franco?
yeah. There's a
Like,
yeah
yeah,
Franco
that'd be great
kids.
to
Yeah.
have on your profile, but I mean, you can't have every state around us.
Yeah, there's already enough. I mean, we already have about 600 kids in the database right now, with so adding more and trying to keep track of them and making sure we have the right grades and all that fun stuff is a daunting task. I know we have lots of grades or names spelled wrong, or some people have two profiles. I found one today. I'm like, oh hey, this guy has two profiles. Let's delete one. So
That means you're doing something right. That means we thought you were going to do something right, and then again, you were doing something right.
yes, yes. Yeah, I don't even know who it was, but I just know they actually no. We have almost 1,100 guys in the active database. There was over like 10,000 in the inactive database. So lots of people in our database. So make sure you're updating your profiles and adding individual results. I know we've got a lot of those over the past couple of days. So lots of good stuff
Yeah.
coming in. Mike's been halfway in the middle of moving Christmas time, so rankings are a little bit slower. But after he gets moved in, he'll have his own office. He can lock everybody out and do rankings, right?
I do them all the time. I think they're pretty close. Generally, you got to wait a couple days, especially after the weekend, because you'll send them out, and then someone will be like, "Oh man, I can't believe you didn't see I beat this kid," and I'm just like, "Hey man, like, great. I love that you beat that guy, but I need you guys to like post that and those notable win pages or notable matches. Those are awesome, man. I love just going through and reading those. So
Yep.
I was
They're,
happy
they're,
Kate
they're always fun
posted
to
it.
check out about lunchtime. Like when we're wrestling or whatever, I always check it out about lunchtime. Oh wow, so and so beat so and so, or wow,
Oh
that's
yeah,
and I know there are a lot of good wins. I know Yorktown had a good duels. Won a possible won a state title match between Prairie Heights and Adams Central. I know I've talked to both coaches and they kind of gave me a little bit of rundown. And there's some close matches there. There's an 8-point match, and I know they had a few close ones. They had Prairie Heights had a kid that bled out, and he's like, the coach, both coaches are like, that's a decision win either way. So there's 3 points there that someone's gonna that Adams Central got a little bit more than they should have, and then there's a couple 2 or 3 point matches, and it should be good. Good. Good duel January 5th. So people realize that
yeah.
January 5th is the team state. It's not over the Christmas break. It's that first weekend there, off that after the Christmas break. So should be a little bit better attended and a little bit easier for teams to schedule, because now they don't have to fight with the holiday tournaments, trying to go to Al Smith and Team State in a week span and just kill their kids.
Yeah, I think last year that was really different. I remember talking to some of the Brownsburg guys, and they had like stacked it. It was like They did Christmas, and then I think they did Brecksville, and they came back and they did Al Smith or no, their Team State, and then they did like New Year's, all in like a span of like a week or something like that, right? It was like everything, or they had like a duel in there or something. It was like I remember Nick was telling us about it.
Yeah, no, that the one year was like there were like 4 days in between them, and it was rough. It was what are you gonna save your kids for, Al Smith or Team State, and that
Right.
was that was tough. I mean, that's four, especially the bigger schools. It's three or four grinding duels there. I mean, it's not just a one good duel. Then you got three or four, and then you go to Al Smith where you have four, five, six good matches. So I'm glad it's been separated a little bit. Now you got a week and a half and a little over a week in between it, and you got time to recover, heal up, and get ready to go. And you can go a little bit better at full strength. And having it on that kind of day will hopefully free up teams to say, okay, I want to keep that date open, or have an event that I can kind of get in and out of, and hopefully it leads to more growth within the event. I think it's doing great. So,
Yeah. Oh, and I think it's exciting. And if you haven't gone and you haven't experienced live, I know they do. I think they do the track. Right? They did the track last year,
yeah, they did, and hopefully they do it
which I
again.
which I love. Like as like a rankings guy, like I can kind of click and see what I want to watch, try to follow it on my phone, and then say, okay, well I want to watch this here. But like if you're just a fan, you should go experience it live. The 1A brings it, man. Like Prairie Heights always has a strong following there. That's gonna be like a huge. You're gonna be like those guys like bring a huge. I know they're Fort Wayne based teams, but that'll be like one of the loudest sections. I was like super impressed with that one the years I've gone, and then the 2A has always done really well, and then obviously the 3A there's a bunch of hammers there, and it's starting to get going on the board a little bit. The seeding process of that, not like those are not gonna be the actual seeds, but little bit of trash talking, a little bit of saying, "Hey, we can do this, we can do this." So, um,
Yeah,
I felt that whole post, no one was even like saying, "Hey, this team shouldn't be the 1 seed." It was all like, "Okay, cool. Who's gonna be 2 through 8?"
yeah, yeah. No, that's gonna be. I know Dane and crew, they're gonna have their hands full, and I know he's already kind of mentioned 2A is gonna be kind of a disaster because Culver Academies is pretty tough, but they've had a lot of forfeits here and there, and if they're healthy, they're going to be a favorite. But if they're not, then they're going to be hard to seed. They're going to be hard to figure out. Obviously, all the coaches are always going to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to have a full lineup. We're going to have a full lineup." Of course,
Right.
I'm not going to say, "Oh no, we're going to have 3 forfeits," but that should be interesting. 3A is going to be very interesting. Yeah, that one's it's going to be a little bit of seeding, which comes down to matchups. A couple teams might match up better with others. It's going to come down to that kind of stuff that a team might be a third best team, but if they get put in the wrong pool, they might finish fifth or sixth, just depending on
Right.
where they fall.
I felt like that happened to Portage one year,
Yeah,
where I think that they were a better seed than they were, and I think they got like kind of a poor seed, and then I think they lost a real tight one to Mater Day. And I
yeah,
remember Mater Day. That was a year like Mater Day was like a load. I mean, you had like two leads in the lineup, and you had a bunch of other guys that were super good. Um, I think like, and I kind of said it on there. And Maryville declines every year, but like dual wise, without like the stars, I don't know if they have a bunch of guys that are gonna win titles or like top to bottom. I got to see them Wednesday. They're a really dual team,
yeah,
and I think like what now that they kind of done, they're doing the team thing with the coaches association, but with the individual being state, I think that a lot of teams go away from just being solid top to bottom. They look more individually, but like the teams that are like Maryville's really good like that. I think Warren Central's really good top to bottom. I think I posted in there. I think Carmel's pretty good top to bottom. I don't think they have a lot of holes. They don't have a lot of guys that are really bad.
yeah, and that's what you need in those things. You need a few superstars, but you also need you know 4 or 5 role players, guys that aren't going to get pinned, guys that are going to battle, and they're going to pull out the wins, or either that or keep matches close and keep those matches against the better kids the decisions. I know. I mean, when you have a better dual team, you can't have 14 studs, but you better have you need to have a few studs, a few pretty good kids, and then some guys that just are battle out there and don't give up pins. And And sometimes, hopefully, you have, I'm fairly certain. I think Carmel has a couple movable parts where guys that they can bump in and out, and change up their lineup a little bit for better matchups, depending on how they match up. So that's huge. 3A level
Yeah.
especially. You look at those deeper teams like Perry and Warren and and Carmel, Mater Dei. Obviously, Mater Dei has a 13-pounder that's a movable part. If they'd have to shift up half their lineup, but at the same time, getting a kid like that in the lineup against a better team, it might be worth it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think the scary part about a lot of that seating for Dane, which I don't ever envy Dane's job. I get like one person pissed off at me if I mess up the rankings. He gets an entire town.
yeah.
But I don't think we've seen those guys at full strength yet. I don't think we've seen a full strength Portage. I don't think we've seen a full strength Carmel. I don't think we've seen a full strength Avon. Obviously, they've been forfeiting 2 weights. I don't think Perry Meridian's been at full strength from some of the stuff I've heard here and there. I know that they lost a couple guys, at least one guy. I think that was a ranked guy early on. So it should be interesting. And we talked about like good dual teams, like how it's going to be difficult to beat Cathedral because they're so good all the way through their lineup. And we got to see them at Trikoff, and they were. They're ranked at 13, they're ranked at 26, 32, 38, 45, 52, 60. And like 60 is a champ, 52 is a semifinalist, 45 is a runner up, 38 is a state qualifier, 32 is a semifinalist, 26 is a semifinalist.
Yeah.
13 is a top ranked incoming freshman. So
yeah, you got to be able to you got to be able to knock one or two of those guys off, and then you also have to weather the storm and not get pinned or give up bonus to those guys. That's the hard part. And that's,
a team like Mater Dei, that would be an exciting duel. And I was thinking that the other day with Perry Meridian going to Mater Dei Friday. Like, I'm surprised that Cathedral and Mater Dei don't set something up. Where those are two prestigious programs. Do one in Indy, do one in Evansville every year.
Yeah, it could be the Catholic Wars.
Catholic Wars.
I'm going to coin that phrase. So, with that,
Catholics versus Catholics, right?
Yeah. Yes. Not Catholics versus convicts. I guess. That's pretty much the recap. Let's get the fun stuff. The top 10s. Actually, probably should do top 15 for juniors. What do you think? Do you think we can?
There's a lot more medals in there.
Yes.
I think we can. Let me 1 second.
Okay. You have a little bit of a break. Now we're gonna do top 10 juniors or top 15 juniors, and because we can and we want to, and then maybe top 20 seniors. That one will be fun. Mike must be grabbing his special drink. There we go.
Grabbing my phone charger.
So you need the split screens like I have. That's why I always look to the side. So I'm looking at the other screen with.
I like to. I get pretty good dealing the sheets on my phone. So
yeah. So we'll do top 15 juniors and top 20 seniors. That way, because it's a little bit easier when they have a little bit more data to go on. So number 1. This is very interesting. There's only one junior with a state title.
2 juniors with a state championship.
Oh, I guess
one in
2.
Indiana, though.
Yeah, only one in Indiana. Sorry, we do have Riley Bedich in the mix. That he's going to be one that we that one's going to be an interesting where we slot him. Alex Vaduya is the only one with a medal. The only one nationally ranked is Silas Allred. Matt Lee's spent a little time in the rankings, and I think Calhoun got a little love in the rankings a little bit. And then Joe Walker, actually, I believe he might still be in the rankings, but he's only a one-time state qualifier. So we have a lot of what ifs and just interesting. It's a very interesting class here. Still a lot of them. I'm watching Mike change up guys. I think he's trying to put them where he likes them. So, what do you like at number 1 here?
I think I'm going to stay. Man, Silas only being the one time, it's kind of tough to put him number one. I think he like after this year, if we redo this at the end of the year, he'd probably be my number one. I think recruiting wise, I always feel like that's a guy that if I know Angel's probably not listening. I didn't see his name come up on here, but if I'm Angel, I'm going out and getting a Silas Allred. I think I'm gonna stay with yeah, I think I'm gonna go Silas Allred, my number one.
I yeah, I mean, with these rankings, it's kind of he has two career losses. That's the biggest thing that I can see. He has two career losses. He's tough. Nationally ranked sixth, seventh area, just in the top 10, pretty much everywhere. That's kind of the selling point. And he's placed at Fargo. He's placed at Super 32. He's won national level events, and I don't, especially being young. He's a younger kid. He's younger. Just was he'll be a first year junior this year, which is he just turned 16 sometime in this past year. So he'll be, he's still younger. He has a lot of maturity still left, hopefully, and I think that's right. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Can't really disagree there.
I feel like whoever gets him recruiting wise, wherever he chooses to go, is gonna get a guy that I think is gonna have a lot of success.
Yeah, yeah. So number two, it doesn't get any easier. The guys that we have probably right in here: Elliot Rogers, second, fourth.
Yeah.
Viduya, fourth and first. Riley Bedich in first and second in Michigan. Matt Lee, two-time seventh placer, has spent time in the national rankings. Ray Rio, Logan Bailey, Graham Calhoun. I almost want to say Viduya just because he has the title, and then the fourth place finish. You can't really take it away from him because there were two state champs and Ty Mills in that bracket.
Right, and Ty Mills a month later beat the number one ranked guy in the country.
Yes, that too. Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I'm really excited for Viduya to be at 132 pounds. I feel like that's a good rivalry with him and Asa. Obviously, the year Asa didn't win was the year Viduya did win. I think that that's an exciting rivalry for Indiana wrestling.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm going Alec.
He is going to be big at 132. We saw him at 138, and I thought he was pretty big. And our guy is not a small 38 by any means, and he dwarfed him. So that's going to be interesting. And maybe we get that matchup at Team State. So
yeah. That's what I look for. I look for like those pools where you get like some good backstory, some good matchups.
Yeah. Number three, are we gonna follow the lead on the chat? Or are we gonna? Man.
I'm going. If it's me, and this is no disrespect for Elliot Rogers. I think if we lined them both up, I'm taking Matt Lee. I think Matt Lee would be the favorite in that matchup if they wrestled.
He's really turned it on this past spring and summer, and I think he's going to keep maturing. That's not a bad pick. Rogers is pretty tough too, so that's going to be. And I have a feeling these could be changing, in a month. After we go through Team State and Al Smith, we can probably adjust these a little bit and see how guys do. Matt Lee's going to have a good match with Aiden Warren coming up this week, so that could easily change.
I think four clean cuts Elliot Rogers. Two times to state finals, 2 times in the semifinals. So.
Yep. Now we're getting into some fun here. Bedich, Rio, Logan Bailey, Calhoun, Carson Allred, Braden Lowry, Logan Bowe, 2-time placer, Drake Campbell, 2-time placer, Mason Winters, a 2-time placer. I'm either thinking Rio or Bedich. They're both 2-time placers. Bedich is kind of hard to gauge just because he hasn't been in Indiana that long. He did beat Eldred a couple weeks ago.
He did.
So, hey, what do you think here?
I think Bedich there. Obviously it's early. He's had definitely had high school success. I know he was in the semifinals at the IndianaMat at 113. Now he's up a weight class. He
Yeah,
lost to Zeke Seltzer there. Um, Ray Rio wouldn't be. That's a tough one. That's definitely tough as you like look at it because Graham Calhoun's had a lot of success also.
yeah,
I'm not. And I think when you look at this, you can't just look at their high school result to that.
yeah.
Calhoun won. Did he win? He won nationals, right? Not preseason nationals, or
He won. I want to say sophomore nationals, I believe.
so put him right at that. No, no.
Yeah,
I think Bettis there, then Rio for sure. I don't
yeah,
know. Do you think Rio over? Yeah, Rio beat Logan before. Yeah, I would say Bettis and
yeah.
Rio.
Rio was runner up at IPO too at 129, and now
Had a
he's down
huge
to
win
one.
over Braden Curtis.
Yeah, and Lawhead and
Yeah.
Manley, Ben Manley, and he lost a sudden victory match. So he's one away from. Yeah, so you saying Bedich, Rio, Calhoun?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bettis, Rio, Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun's kind of. I mean, he's a bigger guy. Oh, we don't have Lytle. Crap. I knew I forgot one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's put him back in there. He's gonna be towards the top.
Yeah. Yes. Very good, Garcia. You finally have earned something. No, I thought I had him in there. We. You got. Oh, you put him in there? No.
Put him at the bottom. Let's put him. I think he goes pretty close to the top.
Yeah, we're gonna have to readjust this.
What do you think? What do you think? Does he go ahead of Matt Lee?
Man, he beat Viduya when they were freshmen.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing. I'd say
Let's go him too.
I'd put him at 3, mainly because he hasn't had the high school results, and that's one of those ones that the
He does
national
have a
results.
stop sign, though.
I mean, he placed at Super 32. He placed at Fargo. I don't even know about putting him. Uh-oh, Keith Davidson's on here.
What is that?
I don't know. It must be a GIF. I'm afraid to look at it. Yeah, I think 3 is a fair place to put him for now, and then we'll obviously be able to reassess this later in the season. So that means Lee 4th, Rogers 5th, Bedich 6th, Rio 7th, 8th is Calhoun.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much easier.
No, it doesn't. You have a guy like Lowry who is 2-time placer. He's the next highest with a 3rd and a 5th.
I think Drake Campbell's good. I think Lowry's good. I mean, Drake Campbell had a good summer.
Yeah. I'm probably leaning a little bit towards Lowry just because of his 2 medals, and he has the 2 highest left. 2 medals at pretty good weights. He only had 1 loss last year. That's the Borman.
Yeah.
You can throw him at 9. Oops, you moved him up.
I'm quick with it.
Yeah.
We're doing 15. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, we're gonna get some good. I mean, we're gonna get all placers. Bailey had a good. I mean, he only had 1 loss his Friday. He only has a couple losses, I know, in his career. Lost in the ticket round his freshman year. Campbell 2 medals. Logan Bowe 2 medals. Logan Bowe really improved. I mean, he kind of got overshadowed by the rest of the county, but he's been doing pretty good. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think Logan Bowe ahead of those 2 guys. I mean, he's had those wins over Drake Campbell, right?
Yes.
They kind of split.
Yeah. So put Logan Bowe number 10. That's not a bad area to put him. Man, Jacob Laplace jumping up from 52.
And he's a full 182, right?
Yeah. He's on a good diet there, and I think he's looking pretty good there too. I mean, he has a 4th place finish, and he was a qualifier of the bigger weights, which you got to kind of throw that into as a freshman sophomore. And so is like Mason Winter, Jake Lone, Joe Walker. Joe Walker's nationally ranked as a qualifier. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I think. Let's. Are we? What did we? You want to go?
You know, do we go Campbell with the 2 medals?
Yeah, I think Campbell Bailey.
Yeah. I mean, I know Walker needs to be in our top 15. He's, I mean,
Yeah,
Liddell, it's hard to kind of try to figure out what to do with them, just because they don't have as much uh, state success. Um,
Carson Oliver.
I'd say
Carson Oliver is going to be in the top 15 also. He's
yeah,
definitely he's a state semifinalist. He's definitely.
yeah,
So we got 4 spots left.
yep. I'm probably gonna throw Walker in mainly because he's nationally ranked and they're so. I'd probably put Walker in at 13. Actually, we have 3 spaces left.
I see Nick Krause fighting. Definitely, definitely had a good weekend for sure this
Yes,
weekend.
yes, he did at the Carroll Super Duels. Um, yeah, that's one national success, and losing in the ticket round. Yeah, that's a hard one to throw out there. Yeah, that's one we'll have to keep our eye on, especially after 170 should be pretty loaded at Al Smith. I got
Yeah.
Walker at 13. Do we go with our next? You go with Eldred and Laplace, the only semifinalist.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think Giovanni Diaz just right outside that top 15, but I mean he was obviously right there. He beat Moran last year at semi-state.
Yeah.
I think he can wrestle with anybody, but I think the 2 semifinalists, I would go Laplace then Eldred.
Okay. That looks good. We will we'll recap these. Silas Allred, number 1. Viduya, number 2. Braden Liddell, 3. Matt Lee, 4. Elliot Rogers, 5. 6. Riley Bedich, 7. Ray Rio, Graham Calhoun, number 8. Braden Lowry, number 9. Logan Bowe, 10. 11 is Drake Campbell, 12 is Logan Bailey. Jacob Laplace, or no, Joe Walker, 13th, 14th Laplace, and then 15's Allred. So, and Bryce Coleman, according to Tante.
Yeah, also had a huge win this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's what's going to be. I mean, we'll want to update these every so often. We're going to get some good juicy information over the next couple weeks, so these might have to change a little bit. Seniors, whew, here we go. This is going to be an interesting one. I think we might be able to do 15 or 20. We might just do 15 on here, and then we'll do the other 5 offline. The main thing with this is we are going to rank Eli Picorni. That one we kind of discussed, and since even though he's not wrestling, he's still in the state, and I guess it's one of those things that we'll get heat for whether we do it or not, whether we include him or not. We are going to include him. He's that's what we're doing. So just so, as a heads up, because I know that one's going to be a big question. So I would put him right where you just moved him, number 1.
Yeah, I think Eli Picorni number 1.
Yeah, he's the highest nationally ranked, has a state title. D1
Beat a
guy.
state runner-up to get that state title. Yeah,
Yeah,
All-American.
yeah, he's had the most national success of anyone else. Now it gets
And he's a lot bigger than both of us.
it starts getting a little dicier here with Curtis, Watts, Garcia, Slivka, Moran, Nick South, Caden Rooks. All those guys have state titles. Donnell Washington, you look at national success. Garcia, Moran. Garcia's placed at Super 32. Moran's placed at Fargo. Donnell Washington, Nick South have both.
They always want me to tell at the Harvest Classic that Jacob Moran likes to injury default in the quarterfinals of Super 32. Every year. They make sure to let me know that all the time.
Yes.
That he doesn't like to wrestle the quarterfinals at the Super 32.
Yeah. And you got Curtis with the most state titles right now with 2. So, And then, I mean, like Nick South's going to be an interesting one. He was runner-up at Super 32, which is very, very, very impressive. Sat out sophomore year because he transferred. Won a state title last year, so that one's an interesting. Caden Rooks has like 4 losses on his career right now, and he was a runner-up for and state titleist. Sammy Fair, who's a runner-up last year, got hurt at regional his sophomore year, sectional regional.
Yeah.
Didn't finish the state series, so this is gonna be fun. What are you thinking here? Do you give Curtis the number 2 since he has the 2 titles, or the 3 medals?
I think I'm gonna go, and I go Asa too. And Thomas Curtis, look at that, right?
Yep.
As I say it, Thomas Curtis says Asa number 2. Yeah, I think Asa number 2. Just like that dude's had an amazing career. He's had the national success, but I would definitely go Curtis 3.
Okay, yeah, can't really, I mean, disagree there. The national success obviously trumps. They both have 2 titles. Definitely, and Asa's third's it was to Viduya, who's pretty darn good. So, 4th.
Yeah, he was number 2 on our junior board.
Yeah. Number 4, oof. I'm looking at Moran, Washington, or South, mainly because of national success.
I think I'm going Moran 4.
Okay.
I mean, the X on his isn't that a state qualifier or didn't make it. It was a year he had to sit out.
Yeah.
Much like South, too. I'm sure that if he would have had a sophomore year, he had a strong freshman year in Jennings County. He was at Jennings, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then transferred to Columbus East. I think Washington South is a coin flip. Washington had beat them, and then South had a great showing. Beat what's the Montini kid, Matt? That's also going to IU.
Or I want to say
IU just
but yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. They've wrestled each other, but I'm gonna have to give South just because he finished as runner-up, that 5th spot.
And he's a state champ. We'll go there.
Yeah. And then, man, do you put Donnell over Slivka and Watts and Rooks, who all have titles, or?
I'd probably go. Yeah, I'd probably go Watts there, and then Washington just beat Slivka, so I'm gonna go Washington ahead of Slivka.
And we have Rooks lurking in there also.
Yeah.
Do we throw Rooks in at number 8 over Slivka?
Those are tough.
Yeah, that's a.
I'm
gonna say,
I think so. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, Rooks.
Oops, that's 9. So man, that's a rough 9 right there.
That's a really good 9. I mean, overall that's tough. I mean, I think this is going to be a pretty tough overall group.
Yeah.
Because I think Mosconi's had some national success.
Yeah, he's placed
2 medals in qualifier.
Cornwell's placed at some national events. I know. I think he's
Super
done
32
pretty well.
runner-up. Was he in the semis? Did he lose in the semis of Super 32 this year?
Either the quarters or semis. I know
he wrestled someone really good too. The kid he wrestled with,
yeah. So he's done well. Fair, who's probably should be a 3-time medalist. You have then you have guys like Nathan Conley, who's Conley beat didn't he beat Slivka?
He did.
Yes. Yeah, Conley lurking there. Derek Blueball, Indy commit just today.
I've seen that. Congratulations.
Yeah. Jeez, I'm just going deeper and deeper, and it's not getting any easier. And then you have, a couple guys that placed earlier in their careers. I'm probably going Mosconi, mainly a little bit more on his national success at number 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we gotta, and then do we put Cornwell up a little bit high? Actually, I'm probably gonna go Fair since he's been under the lights.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And then
probably Cornwell.
Yeah, Cornwell at 12. And now we're getting into, we have semifinalists in Shinogi, Lucas Wolanczak, Tucker Kaufman, Drew Kreitzer, Connor Gimson. Oops, not Connor Gimson. And then, you also have Brock Peel. who
Yeah,
was
Brock Peel's a semifinalist.
yeah, he's a semifinalist, and then you also have someone else was down there, Seth Johnson from North Montgomery, who was a uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Moran is
Brax Alexander, the
Moran's
medal.
number
Those guys.
4, Thomas. So yeah, he's number 4 right now for us. So um, what do you think in 13? Probably.
Hmm.
I'm looking at like Shinogi probably has the best credentials out of everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Um, we'll just do 15 because after that it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, because those guys.
Now we got
I would say Carson. I think Carson Brewer's higher. I mean, I know he's a one-time state qualifier,
yeah.
but man, he
He's
he
been
did. He
in and
lost
out of
his
national
moment. I think.
rankings. I can't get
Yeah, I think Carson Brewer has to be up there.
okay. We'll put him at 14 for right now. We got one more. Yeah, geez, Garcia, slow down. um,
We got it, man. We're on it.
yeah,
Um,
I'm just making sure we don't miss anyone down low. Um, man, you go and there's a couple guys with 2 medals.
yeah,
Um,
there's a couple spots that you kind of.
you know, 2 medalists. The only one, Pio and Conley.
I,
I'd probably go Conley mainly because he has a couple good wins this year. He's
yeah,
been there 3 times and has a good win. A couple good wins this year, a lot of good wins. So it's hard to go past him. Look past him at 15 as a 2-time medalist, 3-time qualifier.
yeah,
He's the only 3-time qualifier left. So
I think so.
there we go. That's our top 15. And
That was tough.
when we get them on the site, we'll put it top 20. We'll do that offline, so it's a little less crazy. Hearing us blabble about it. Go over this, do this again. Let me sort this.
Yeah, definitely good. I mean, there's still, a ton of good guys. I mean, Antoine Graves had a lot of success. I mean, obviously, Derek Blueball. He was IndianaMat champ, right?
Yeah,
Brock
yep,
Peel. Andreas Moreno had a nice season last year. He has the one medal. He had a win over Peel, had a win over Triano last year. Jose Diaz.
yeah. There's a lot of guys that are, definitely in the talk here. Um, top 15: Eli Picorni, number 1; Asa Garcia, number 2; number 3, Braden Curtis; number 4, Jacob Moran; number 5, Nick South. Man, you could make an argument for any of those top 5 being number 1. In all honesty, 6, Hunter Watts; 7, Donnell Washington; 8, Caden Rooks; 9, Jordan Slivka; 10, Alex Mosconi; 11, Sam Fair; 12, Kyle Cornwell; 13, Jake Shinogi; 14, Carson Brewer; and 15, Nathan Conley. So the young guns aren't young no more. They have the 3 of the top 15 seniors and a couple others. So that's putting down there. Any comments on this senior class? Obviously, it's they have a lot more data to work on, but it's a pretty solid class here.
Yeah, definitely disappointed that Eli's not going to be able to compete because you'd like to see him kind of go from there. I mean, as if we update again, maybe that one falls out. We go to another guy in there,
Yeah.
But overall, really, really tough class. I think we were talking about the sophomore class not having a ton of medals going in, and you can kind of see on here there wasn't a ton of medals in this sophomore class either when they were sophomores. So
yeah,
they kind of keep improving.
That was some. I actually put together some data on that, just because I was like, okay, how good is this? Obviously, having the database and everything, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of do that. I don't know if I have that here or not. It might be on my other computer. I'll have to share that because that's there it is. State stats by grad year. Yeah, there's some. Where's this at? Yeah, there you go. Qualifiers by year. It's very interesting because we did have a trivia question last week. back in '97, no freshman placed. That was the last time a freshman didn't place at state, which is kind of crazy.
Braden Bailey got that one quick.
Yeah, he probably had the book. I don't know. I don't trust him. He was trying to hack me or something. But last year we only had 6 placers. The year before we had we had 12. This year's junior class had 12 state placers there.
That's Jim.
Yeah, that's Sante. And then in would be the class of 2017, 2000, and 2018. 2018, that last year's senior class, they had 11 placers as freshmen, which is pretty impressive. That only until those last 3 years, the class of 2020, 2018, 2017, were there more than 10 placers since 1960 as freshmen. So that's pretty impressive. And obviously, the 2017 year, there were 22 the guys placed there. So very interesting. As far as placers, last year's freshman class was a little below average, but it's anywhere between 6 and 10, 6 to 8, 9. So it's not too bad. Not as bad as I kind of thought it was. We'll see how they do as sophomores. This year's sophomores class is pretty impressive. Like the 2017 class had 22 placers as sophomores, which is crazy to think. So, but I'll share that data with everybody just because it's very to me, I always find that kind of stuff interesting. So, with that, we are going to try to next week go on Wednesday, the 26th, day after Christmas. So, give Mike some time to move into his new house, hopefully, and everyone have a good Christmas.
Let's see what Comcast is trying to run on the holidays.
Hopefully they have some people working, and we get our get everything going on there. You know, get you
if not,
some internet.
Then half my stuff will be there, and I'll just come back here and do a live show from an empty home.
Yeah, nice. So, with that, we hope everyone tunes in. We'll share the links. I'm pretty certain we're gonna have it on Facebook and our YouTube channels. The Perry Meridian versus Mater Dei. That should be a great match. We'll be doing some more analyzation on that, and I know it's getting a little heated on the board, which is always good, as long as you keep it within good taste. You know, I like a little friendly banter, as long as it's friendly.
I think those are the things that get the board going, though. Like that's a good post going on right now. The 3A thing is going on. I think that's a good post. Like when you get those good, like everyone's kind of excited for it. Those are the times that the board's really well. And then you always get the chuckleheads that come out that are gonna like go on there and post all kinds of nonsense, and then they don't understand why they're getting like banned. They're like, I don't understand. It's a dictatorship. You literally said you're gonna kill this guy's family. Like, you're threatening people in fights. Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah. No, we should. The one good thing here. With the website, we definitely have to plug our articles. We got some great articles past week.
Yes.
Great article on
Yeah. And I know that was one last year. I thought that was really good. I know he had put in for an article, and we were kind of like, okay, and then he qualified for state. It was good to get him in there because I think that he's making the most of like a tough situation, what seemed to be a tough situation. It seems like he's in a better situation now. And if you didn't read the article, go back, and he's kind of overcame some adversity, and which is amazing. And obviously the second part to that, this week's Ethan Forrest from South Bend, Washington, who I got to see live at the Harvest Classic, is also overcoming adversity. He only has one leg from the knee down. I think it's from the knee down.
Yeah. And then we had a good article on Levon Bellamy. Yeah, Edgewood guy, living with Coach Escobedo, and great story on that. He kind of, he didn't want to leave, but his family was like, "Go, this is best for you," and doing great. Going to, it's a little bit of a culture shock from what it sounds like going from where was he to wherever it is to Ellettsville. So
Quad Cities, man.
Yeah,
Iowa.
Yeah. So
when I mean. The stats on that were pretty staggering. When I think like North Iowa, Quad Cities, I didn't think they were so bad like that.
Yeah, so that's
good. Another guy kind of overcoming some adversity.
Yep, and I always had a lot of respect for Coach Escobedo, and taking in a kid like that, that's even better. He already has two young kids with him, so now you're going to take in a teenager, and not only do you have to watch over him, you have to feed him and all that fun stuff. So, um,
He looks like he's a big, strong kid. He probably eats a lot and lifts a lot of weights.
yes, yeah, yeah. So, no, that's pretty good. That's a great story, and we got another one coming this week. I'm not even sure who the next one is. I know I sent the information off, but I forgot who it was about. But we'll have some more even over Christmas time. We're gonna try to get the stories done, and we'll get them posted around Christmas time. I know I have a really cool one coming up soon. I'm not gonna tell everyone who it is, but probably the most accomplished Indiana wrestler of all time, as a hint. But you probably will. People won't be thinking down the right lines. So it'll be a pretty cool article. I know we just got contact information for that, so I'm excited to have that one. Um, and it's a really
Yeah,
good story.
and I think that was like one of the posts. I know someone had posted. I think it was Wrestling Scholar had posted a poll, and I think IndianaMat kind of takes that away. Like we're able to put articles out there. Like if your local paper is not doing something and you want, I know the Times used to do a great job of doing like a weekly article every week, and I think they still kind of do a little bit, but there was something exciting to look forward to. They did like a timeout for wrestling on Wednesday, and Indiana Mat's now doing that, and it's statewide, and I think it's getting a lot of kids publicity. I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like to listen. There's the one thing we talked about doing. Like, do we want to do meet recaps, or do we want to do like profiles on kids and teams? And I like the meet recaps. Everyone already knows what's going on, what happened. An hour before, hour afterward. Not much else to talk about unless someone's punching out that those results. And getting that article out. An hour or two later. So do the
Right.
profiles on the wrestlers. It's awesome to hear that, and they share that. I know people are still sharing the ones from last week, and that's pretty neat to see. And I like hearing the stories about the kids. And I hope the guys that we've just profiled. I'm sure they have a lot of new fans from this past week, just those articles, and that's cool to have those types of guys. You're gonna see those guys at state or at a local event, and you're gonna cheer for them. You're gonna want them to win. So that's kind of neat to have those guys profiled, and there's always some good stories out there.
I know when Ethan Forrest won the Harvest Classic, they were the Portage guys were like, if we win the OW, we're giving it to him. But he won pretty handily. It was, like I said, it's a pretty amazing thing. He obviously dominated that day, and you hope that kid does well because like not just for that, but he was like a really good kid. And I think anytime that you meet some really good kids, you hope that they have the best success.
Yeah. So with that, we will remind you that it is we'll be going next week, Wednesday, and then we're gonna do our top, probably the pound for pound top 10. Who we're gonna that'll be a fun one. Already kind of curious of how we're gonna do that one because there's a lot of guys that we can talk about, and that'll be one for a good half-hour discussion. We'll preview the
Oh
Al
yeah.
Smith, probably. Hopefully, have our pre-seeds done, and we'll have them
Um,
correct.
yeah, as correct as they're gonna be, obviously it's a wild tournament. I'm gonna have my vocals going.
Yep, you're gonna be gargling salt water and stuff. So,
I just want to do a good job. I want it to be exciting. So
yep. And so we'll let everyone go. Have a great Christmas, and we hope Santa brings them everything they want. And we'll see you guys in a week.
I was supposed to shout out